Hello and welcome to Laurindalandia. Today I'm going to do a reading about what people think of you before they know the real you. You can choose your pile following your intuition. It can be the pile that you're the most visually attracted to. We can even ask in your mind, where is the pile for me? I do personal readings, they are super affordable, and then my first link in the description. Hello, pile one. So you chose this card that says, be the most important person in your life. What people think of you before they know the real you is that they assume that you are someone that loves themselves, put themselves first, and invest a lot of time into self-care and self-love. They assume that you spend a lot of money like on skincare, on good fashion, good clothes, good food, in a lot of things made to take care after yourself. They assume that you are a person that feels very worthy and feels very high value about themselves and that treats themselves that way. I think you are someone very beautiful. I think your clothes are always beautiful and pristine, and people look at you when they don't know you, they assume, no, this person takes care after themselves because you're always put together, you're always beautiful, nowhere out of place. Also, most people view you spending time alone. Maybe you do spend a lot of time alone, and maybe you go out alone and go do your errands or just like go for coffee alone. I think people see you alone in the outside looking very beautiful, very well put together, nice clothing, good makeup, beautiful hair, great perfume, great smell. They really think like, they assume that you spend a lot of time alone taking care after yourself. They also assume that you have money because of how good you look. Because again, skincare on top, like your skin is beautiful, glowy, no acne, like beautiful, makeup on point, clothes are super like beautiful, on point. Your clothes are also like, they look high quality, they don't look cheap. Basically it looks like high quality fabrics, and also they are not wrinkly or they look wrinkly, you feel me? Like, it seems like you buy expensive clothes and items and they are well taken care of. Like, you iron them, you like wash them properly. Some people might even assume that you wash your clothes by hands, like your manicure is done. Like, there is here, because of how you look very well put together and you look like someone that has money. Some people might even assume that you come from money, that you are like an heiress and comes from a family of money and privilege. So people almost want to know your last name to see if they can identify that last name, like tied to some like company or brand that is well established. Like, people really assume that you take high care of yourself and that you have a lot of money. And I think, imagine, a lot of you, I think in this pile, do take care of themselves. I think maybe the disalignment here might be a lot of money. I think a lot of you are financially stable, but a lot of you here might not be as rich as people assume that you are. But I think it's about how you spend your money and how you take care of yourself. Like, sometimes it's not about having a lot of money. Sometimes it's more about what you do with that money and how you spend that money. Do you spend that money to take care of after yourself, or do you spend it in like, there is nothing wrong, right? But some people might spend that money with addictions or futile things or going out or gambling. I'm also hearing that. And you might spend your money on yourself and you might take care of yourself. It's not about having a lot, it's about what you have quality of. The clothes that you have, you do take care of them. I'm also hearing some of you here, you guys shop secondhand, and because you guys shop secondhand, like, you are more prone to get like high quality items because fashion now is very like fast, right? So nothing is quality anymore. So sometimes shopping secondhand, gets you like more high quality items because it's secondhand that has been there in the past, right? It's not about that you spend a lot of money in yourself, but the money that you spend in yourself, it does pay off, and it looks like you spend a lot of money in yourself. You look like very rich. What people think. I also am getting that rich is a mentality a lot of times, and when we have the rich mentality, you look rich even if you are not necessarily rich. Again, I think this pile is financially stable, but I think people assume like you are wealthy, you feel me? People assume that you have billions in the bank type of vibe. um, and I think a lot of you here don't have millions or billions in the bank and didn't come from wealth, didn't come from like privilege, but the money that you have, you use to invest in yourself, and it shows. What people think of you before they know the real you. Okay, Pawan. People, I think, get obsessed over you very easily. I think people project a lot of desires and fears onto you. They project, like, I think a lot of people almost go into limerence with you. They see you and they see you as very desirable, and they project a lot of desires onto you, and they might even obsess about you without even like really knowing you. And like, I think a lot of people see you like a couple of times in the street, and they start imagining their future with you without like really even talking with you. They start imagining, what's their life look like, or will be like they're getting married, and they imagine this very luxurious rich life with you. They imagine, they for sure have money, so like we're gonna live in a mansion, and they're like the perfect wife or husband, and we're gonna have the most beautiful, well-educated kids. Like, I think a lot of people go into limerence with you, and they really start to create a lot of fantasies um, about you without even really knowing you. And this might be something hard for you to deal with, pile number one, because I think when people come talk with you, they already come with a lot of expectations and a lot of preconceived notions that a lot of times are incorrect, right? So they come and they almost want you to be the image that they have in their minds. They almost want you to be the expectation that they hold of you, when in reality, like, you are a person, right? People should love you for who you are and expect nothing from you and just expect yourself. But I think you might get this a lot when people like start talking with you or start getting closer to you for the first time. They might really project their desires and expect you to be an imagination of their mind. You feel me? They expect you to be the image that they hold in their mind, and this might be frustrating to you. And I think for a lot of you, pile one, this even makes you more of a recluse because you feel like people are not willing to see you for who you actually are due to all of this obsession and limerence that they have about you. You might feel like people are not don't accept you for who you actually are, because they are putting this pressure for you to be their expectations. They are putting this pressure for you to become what they have imagined in your mind. And this is not your fault, pal number one, at all. And I think this might even make you more of a recluse and even might make you want to be more alone, because you are like, when I'm with people, y'all are trying for me to be something that I'm not. You don't accept me for who I am. That's not real love, which is totally valid. So this might be a struggle for you, pal number one. The fact that people want you to uphold image that they have in their mind that has nothing to do with you and it's not your fault. I think people just project a lot of fears and desires onto you. There might be something in your astrology chart that's makes people do this, but again, it's not your fault. Like, you're not doing it. People are just obsessed with you. Like, I think it's a lot also because of you carry yourself, your beauty, you're very beautiful, you carry yourself very well. So people really imagine you as this perfect human being. And again, is perfection doesn't exist. Perfection is different for everyone. So people really project this image onto you, and they expect you to be something, and maybe they don't allow you space to be who you exactly are and show who you are. So therefore they don't allow you space to be loved, right? And for you to love them, because they're always putting this pressure for you to be something that you are not. What people think of you before they know the real you. Number one. Yeah, really strange here. They assume, imagine. Yeah, they assume you were born with money. Like they assume that you have daddy's money. You're never at work like a difficult job. Imagine never at work a job that requires a lot of physical. That requires a lot of your physical, right? Like and they feel like you're rich, but you don't make your own money. That money was given to you. They feel like you use the money of your parents or your family. They feel like even like nepo baby vibes. And again, that this might be extremely incorrect and it's not fair that people project this onto you because again, they see this beautiful person, skin amazing, hair amazing, high quality clothing. A lot of you might also be young, like in your 20s or 30s, you feel me? So people assume that basically they kind of compare themselves to you and they're like, I am in my 20s and 30s, I'm in their age range, and I don't got my things together. I look a mess, my clothes are barely washed. My clothes are like fast fashion, my skin is breaking out, and I have time to take care of myself. And then they look at you and you are in the same age range as them, right? At least you look like it, and you look way better than them. So people kind of, I think, yeah, for people to make themselves feel better, they're saying, oh, they're like this because they have daddy's money, right? They come from money. I didn't come from money. I had to work hard for my money. Of course, I look like this and they look like that. Ugh. When in reality, I think, again, a lot of you worked hard for everything that you have, but I think a lot of you simply focus on yourself, you feel me? And you use the money that you have to love yourself. At the end of the day, it's a choice to do, like, you choose what you do with your money, right? If you rather, like, I think again, these people that are like obsessed by you and are in limerence with you, I think they're very prone to addictions. And I think they like spend a lot of money, for example, going out to drink and drinking, gambling, I'm hearing poker. And there's nothing wrong with it, but like if you're spending a lot of your money and energy in like vices, of course you don't have money and energy for yourself and take care of yourself and like wash your clothes, right? Or do a good skincare, of course, right? But it's about priorities. At the end of the day, it's not about how much money you have, it's what you do with that money, because I think a lot of you are very like middle class, very like normal living, and you are using the best with your money to like focus on the things that really matter in life, that is yourself. What people think of you before they know the real you. Number one. This is a bit maddening. I'm getting a bit pissed off with these assumptions, honestly. Again, there's a big storyline of here people assuming that you come from money, that you come from like a wealthy family, and from like that high upper class or high class type of dynamics that is like that is girl, that is money, and they think you are spoiled, really. Like they assume that you are spoiled, that you were given everything in life, that you are ungrateful for what you were given. And again, this has nothing to do with you, Palawan. I think this is also rooted in jealousy because these people, again, because in reality, you guys are playing with the same resources, right? You also came from a like, you were not giving anything in life. You worked hard for everything that you have in life, but you are making wiser decisions than them that were given the same circumstances. So, like, Loki, I think people are jealous and they feel inferior to you because of your lifestyle. Like, again, it's not that you have more money than them, it's because you are wiser than them in making like life choices. So, I think these people I like people that are like very prone to addictions, very prone to vices, very prone to self-indulgence. So they look at you and they project all of that, and they assume, oh, this person is spoiled. They never have to work hard. But they're ungrateful for like that is money. When in reality, no, like nothing was given to you. You worked hard for everything that you have, right? But you simply are wiser and more intelligent than them in making life decisions and in choosing what into what to invest and what not to invest. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this message. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you like this content, subscribe. I do a personal readings. They are super affordable. And then my first link in the description. Bye, pal one. Hello, pal two. So you chose this card that says, your time flies. What people think of you before they know the real you, is that you are busy. You are up to something. You are going somewhere. You don't have time for them. You might be someone that is like prone to anxiety or very mind stimulated. And people think like you're always on a rush. People think like you're always on a timeline. That when you are out outside, you are going somewhere. You walk with conviction. You walk with direction. People think you are a very busy person that probably has multiple jobs, multitask. He's the owner of a business, as a like a normal 9 to 5. He's a mother, a father. It's like a sexual relationship. Like people think that you are so busy because I think might be the way that you walk or the way that you look. Like I think you are very a person that is very determined. Also, there's something about your body that looks strong, like you work out, and people like also paint this picture in their mind. Oh, okay, this person has stamina. Like this person is energetic. They're not tired. They are doing multiple things at once. They have like 3 cups of coffee already. There is this very jittery, anxiety prone vibe to you that people really paint this picture. Oh, this person is in a timeline. This person is going somewhere. They're busy. They have multiple jobs. They're doing multiple things at the same time. Yeah, people just assume that you are busy. People kind of want to know what you're busy with, but like people don't even want to approach you because they feel like, no, you are busy. You don't have time to talk with me. I think you have a lot of people that want to approach you because you give very interesting person. You give very high intellect. This is what people assume, that you are someone very interesting, probably very smart with high intellect, because clearly you're doing multiple things at the same time. You are busy, 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 busy bee, absolutely. And people kind of want to know, like, get to know you, but they're like, no, I cannot bother them because they are in the timeline. Like, people some rejection because they think, no, you are busy. You don't have time to talk with me. Time is money. Time is money. People assume that you have a very that personality of time is money. I'm going somewhere. Don't talk to me. I'm busy. I'm seeing a lot of suits and ties and business casual. I'm seeing a lot of crossing the street, looking the other way to cross the street, like those bags for the laptops in one hand, a coffee that you just got in the other hand, sunglasses or normal glasses, walking down the streets of New York. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing very this New York vibe to you. Like it's giving gray, like gray business casual, like that blue that is very like business casual, you feel me? Like things to be, places to go. I'm doing something. My schedule is full. Okay, I don't have time to just speak with you. I don't have time for this. Things need to happen now. This is the vibe. Also, there's something about clocks. Some of you might wear nice clocks, and people think, oh, this person is a businesswoman or a businessman and they're making money because you have nice clocks or like business casual, your clothing, and people assume that's like, yeah, you are a business person with places to be and people to see and people to meet. There is no wasting time. I'm also hearing time is running out. People assume that time is running out for you on something. Like people assume that you are going to a meeting, that you have to be there on time because it's like the meeting of your life, when you're gonna make like the sale of the deal of your life. It's like one time opportunity type vibe. You feel me? People assume that you are going to meet important people, doing important things, and that time is of the essence. You are like you are about to do something very important. These are people so talk with very important people, and yeah, time is of the essence, right? People might assume that some people might even assume that you're always late because of this energy of I have to go, I have to run, I have places to be. Very cogs in a wheel. I think a lot of people assume that you are like, yeah, a businessman or a businesswoman. They might assume that you have a whole enterprise behind you and a bunch of people that counts on you, and you need to be there on time, and you need to show up, and you need to be there. Yeah, people also assume that you work a lot, like morning, night. People assume that you work 24/7 in many different things, many different projects. Or if it's just like one company, is like you multitask, you wear a lot of hats, you are doing a lot of things. And I think it has to do a lot with your determination, the way you walk. Maybe this anxiety prone, like your mind is always ticking type vibe. Maybe you walk fast, or you walk with a lot of determination. Maybe you have good posture, and like your posture is up and you are walking like kind of fast, determination on your feet, like, you feel me? And maybe some of you dress business casual, what people think of you before they know the real you. Well, number two, people assume that you don't care about what other people think of you, like you have other things to worry about. You're not even like looking around to see people, like people think your mind is occupied with something else, and you couldn't even, like, you're not even aware of who is around you. You don't want to even look around, you don't care, you are thinking about your business. Like, people assume that you really, like, are unconcerned about the perspective of others. Like, you don't care what other people think of you because you are busy with your own world. And also, people might think that you are someone that doesn't care about like romance or emotions or feeling, someone that is quite cold because of this very business centered. I think people really assume that you are very businessy, that at the end of the day, you don't care what other people think about you, you don't care about their opinions because you have places to be, you have things to do. People might also assume that in this scenario, that they assume that you are a very business person, that you make deals that only favor you. Imagine you couldn't care less about how these deals are going to affect other people as long as they benefit you. And this might not be true, okay, about too, but people like see you as very cold, unemotional. You couldn't care less about others. You're minding your own business. You're busy, right? You're not even looking around to look for other people because your time is ticking. You have places to be. You have places to go, right? Like, your mind is fully focused on business, right? And they assume that's probably, they even assume that your romantic life is very transactional. Like, if you are with someone, is like for one thing only, to get maybe intimacy, and like, well, I don't have time for a relationship, I don't have time for love, I don't have time for this. Like, we are here to do one thing and one thing only, and like move on, move forward. I don't have time for this, da da. Like, people really assume that you are out of time. And again, this I think has to do with a lot of, yeah, your body posture, being very active in the mind, like always thinking of something, always like looking maybe to your clock or the time, or like looking around, but not to people, like looking around like you are thinking of something else. Yeah, people assume that a very business, cold type vibe about you. People might even be intimidated by you because of this. People might even think, no, this person is up to something. Like, they probably are like a very important business person that I don't know of because I'm not in that world. They might assume that you are a CEO of a very high company or something. But people think of you before they know the real you. Yeah, yeah, very driven, up to something, up to a project. People assume, yeah, you are doing multiple things, you have a bunch of options. Like, people also assume that you are this very full of ideas person, that you have many genius ideas and many profitable ideas. They assume that your mind is always ticking with new ideas for business, or how to improve your business, new ideas for marketing, new ideas for this, and new ideas for that. This is what people assume, that your mind is always ticking and you're always to something new, or you have always new approaches to make what you already have successful. Yeah, imagine. I think the fact that you seem like detached from like romance and not interested in anything of that makes people want you more. I think you're very desirable to many people. Like, people might assume that you're a very interesting person. They want to get to know you, they want to speak with you, but they are intimidated and they don't do it because they feel like, no, this person is going to reject me because they don't have time for me. They clearly like are busy with something else, right? I think you give very building an empire vibe, right? And imagine you have passion for your business. This is what people assume. There is a passion within you, yes, but it's for your business. It's for business pursuits. Like, they don't see you passionate about people because of maybe you don't look to people in the eyes. Like, you go, I don't know, into the metro or to the grocery store, or you are walking around and you don't even like look at people. And this might be something, actually, maybe your social anxiety. This might be something to do with your social anxiety. Maybe you don't like to look to a lot of people, you feel me, and maybe you go like to go around the world in your little bubble, or at least pretend, because it makes you safer, right? But the fact that you don't seem to look to other people, in the eyes, like, you don't seem to interact with the people around you as well. When people see you is like on the streets walking fast with direction and with strength, and they're like, okay, they are busy, but they know you, that you are passionate because of the stamina and energy within you. They just assume that you are passionate about business and not about maybe romance or love or making friendships. What people think of you before they know the real you. Yeah, they think like you are tied to something. Like, people, so you're not a person that people assume, they're just enjoying themselves, they're having a day off free. No, people assume that you are tied to something, that you're making something happen, that your life very much is tied to a project or a business. People also assume that you're working really hard now because is the time to do it. People feel like maybe they just started their new business, or maybe they had a great opportunity and they really need to lock in now and focus now and dedicate a lot of their energy now, because your business needs to, because like where your business is at is crucial for you to dedicate a lot of time and energy to it. This is what people feel like right now. You are kind of in this sacrifice era because you need to sacrifice a lot of your time and energy into the business because it's like starting to flourish, or you're starting to see like little bit of results of the seeds that you planted. People feel like you've been working towards this for a long time, but right now that you need to dedicate a lot of time and energy into it because it started to like flourish a little bit. You start maybe to get clients, opportunities, or you start to get some sort of recognition, sort of exposure. You're like, okay, I need to lock in. I have a window of opportunity. I need to make it happen now. People want my business or want my product or want my service. I need to lock in now. I need to dedicate my time and energy now. Yeah, people feel like you don't have free time, that you don't have that much free time, that you don't have days off. Like, people might even assume that you're starting a business, but you still have a 9 to 5 to pay the bills. But on the side, you're starting your business and your time is counted. Like, it's giving a lot of Mark Zuckerberg. Was it him that when he was starting Facebook, they was delivering pizzas or something? I don't know if it was him, but one of those like big CEOs that when they were starting something, they were like having a normal 9 to 5, like a very normal job, because they needed to pay the bills, and like on the side, as a side also, they were creating like an empire. This is what is giving for you, that you probably have a 9 to 5, but you are working on your side business, in your side hustle, and right now it's time to lock in. You don't have time to mess around. What people think of you before they know the real you. Well, number two. Mm, yeah, people feel like you are expanding something monetarily and you are taking risks, but these are very calculated risks. Like, there is this energy about you, like, I'm taking a risk now. I'm spending something monetarily. I'm doing something that is out of my comfort zone, So like imagine it's like you're taking a calculated risk, so you don't want nobody in your business because you are doing something risky. Yeah, people really paint this picture of businessman, businesswoman about to make like this investment or about to work on something that is like something new to expand their business. But it's because it's something like that is not guaranteed or fully secure, like you need to put your boundaries up. Like you are kind of in a vulnerable stage because you are taking this calculated risk. But because it's a risk, at the end of the day, you are not for certain. This is like having a client that you have not closed the deal yet. So you're making effort to like create this deal for the client, but you don't want to tell everyone what you are doing or let everyone give your opinion to you because you like want to focus on okay and you don't want to for someone to create more issues than what you're already handling now. I think yeah, there is some sort of like you are taking a calculated risk and you are expanding yourself financially and materially, but you don't want nobody to come into your, you don't even want nobody to know, like you don't want nobody to know what you're doing, you don't want other people's opinion, you don't want to mess this up, like you don't want to listen to the wrong person, you don't want other people's opinion to change your point of view, right? And I think you are like taking a risk but doing it in a very closed manner so nobody come in and mess it up for you. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this message. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you like this content, subscribe. I do have personal readings that are super affordable, and then my first link in the description. Bye, Paul too. Hello, Bob Free. So I chose this card that says, I love my world. What people think of you before they know the real you is that you are super fulfilled with your life, super fulfilled with yourself, super happy at your job, where you live, the house you live in, like you're happy, your life seems very happy. I think you are someone like genuinely and inherently happy and joyful and that focus on the positive and tries to look at the positive of life instead of looking at the negative of life. And you emit this very joyful, happy, good lucky vibe. So people assume just because like you emit this energy and maybe you have like always a smile in your face and you always look like you're happy, like you always looks like you don't have a bad day, which you might have, of course, we all do. But because you always look so happy, so joyful, so fulfilled, such a ray of sunshine, right? People assume that you are so content and happy with your life. People assume that you might live a very like simple life, like have a small home, but you have a garden, and you have a dog, and you have a pet, and you plant like in your small garden little things for yourself. You film your garden a little bit. Like people feel like you are super satisfied with your life, even if it's not a big life. People actually assume that you might live a very minimalist life and not be someone that is very concerned with like money and status. Like they might assume that you might be a bit of a EP or a bit of a someone that's maybe is more connected with nature and like more mindful, kind of yoga vibes. You feel me? Like people might look at you, and this might has to do with your clothing, the way you dress, or maybe even the way you act. Like I'm seeing a lot of like big skirts, like that very hippie clothing. I don't even know how to describe the type of clothing that I'm seeing. But very like big skirts, funky patterns, fringe, suede, hair that is a bit messy, like that he like. I'm also seeing rastas. I was that name in locks, dreadlocks. I don't know if this is the name, but like kind of hair that has not been brushed type vibe. Like messy hair, messy bands. Yeah, I'm seeing this very like hippie vibe, and people assume that you live that lifestyle. People assume that you are very connected with nature, that you are someone that plants your own vegetables, that you are very, people might even assume that you are vegetarian or vegan, that you care like about animal rights, that you do like yoga, that you meditate. People really assume that you live this very mindful lifestyle, very connected with nature, very organic, very loving, loving of all. I'm also seeing a lot of sandals, like, yeah, this might really to do with the way that you dress, and also like the fact that you always have a smile in your face, like your face has like seems to be always happy. You have like characteristics of your face, like it's not wrinkles, but you know when you smile, like your face looks a certain way because of like the way you use your face, like your face looks in a way the way that you are, right? Because if you smile a lot, maybe on the corners of your mouth you have the like smiley things, you know, the smile, not wrinkles but prominence, I guess, like the smiley features. Like there is something about your face that is very happy, light. People, even if you're not directly smiling, it looks like you are smiling. Yeah, you have this very lightful, joyful energy. So people assume that you live a very simple lifestyle, minimalist, connected with nature, mindful, and that you are very happy in it, and that you live a life that you're very satisfied by. I'm also seeing a lot of crystals. So people might even assume that you are like into spirituality and that you have a bunch of crystals. And I'm seeing, what am I seeing? Hinduism, like those characters of Hindu, you know, very that. I'm seeing those tapestries with Hindu characters to refer to like the chakras or something like that. What people think of you before they know the real you. File number 3. Very interesting. Yeah, they think you are a lover. Like they think you are someone that's, they assume that when you fall in love with someone, you might get obsessed with them. Like they assume you are a super passionate, loving person, and when you fall in love with someone, this doesn't necessarily have to do with only relationships. I think people also see you in friendships being like a really close friend to people, like the people that you love, you really care about them, you like smile at them, you buy them like little gifts, or you make them things by hand, like you make them um, necklaces or bands to put in their hand, like you make them yourself, things to give to your friends, to give to your lovers. People might assume that you are a very loving friend and loving romantic partner. They might even assume that you get obsessed with people and that you are clingy because of the amount of love that you transmit. Because I think it's because of that. Because you transmit a lot of love, people might assume that the people that get real close to you, that you really like love them by no end. You feel me? That you move mountains for them, and that you are their ride. Or yeah, people might assume that you have strong emotions due to this very happy, good lucky vibe to you. Might people might assume that, yeah, you, when you love very hard. What people think of you before they know the real you. Pile number 3. Yeah, they also assume that you have unconventional family values, or that your house, your sense of stability is different from others. They might assume that you live this trailer lifestyle, this caravan lifestyle, a bit of a nomadic lifestyle. People might assume that, yeah, your sense of home or sense of family is untraditional. It might be something also to do, maybe they assume that you consider your family your close friends. They might assume that you create this like small community of people that believe the same things that you do, like maybe believe in veganism or vegetarianism or yoga, meditation, or connecting with nature. And might assume that you live in this like, you created this small community of friends and people close to you that believe the same things as you, and they could see you calling them family, like your family are the ones that share the same values as you. They think they assume that maybe the family that you were born into you're not as close to, but that you have created an unconventional sense of family, like a small community of people that share the same beliefs as you, and people are kind of like you, and you all see each other as family, and you guys help each other in times of need. Also, they assume that your sense of home is unconventional, like they wouldn't imagine you buying an apartment or you buying a home. No, they assume that you make your own cabin in the woods, you feel me, or you have a trailer or a caravan to go around the country, and that you're not tied to one place, and that your place of living is very mutable. What people think of you before they know the real you, pile number 3. Very interesting. I got a very specific message. Imagine they also assume that your views of um, I need to be careful because I'm in YouTube, so I cannot say directly what I want to say. But imagine people might assume that your views with the physical, intimate relationships, if you know what I mean, is unconventional. You might see, like, people assume that you might see physical, intimate relationships, like doing the act itself, as very spiritual. Like, people assume that you don't objectify that act. There is very People assume that you will be someone that sees that as very spiritual and very sacred, and as an like ritualistic act, and something that is also unconventional to some degree. People might even assume that you would have multiple partners to do that act with, because you don't see it as tied to romantic pursuits. Like, is seeing that act itself as something very spiritual and unconventional. It's giving hippie to the maximum, okay? Like, people assume that you live this very hippie lifestyle, that even in your physical intimate relationships they will assume you'll be something very unconventional, and is not tied to love or romance. Is more like of a spiritual act, or something that is very sacred or spiritual, or that you use for your spirituality. Very interesting. What people think of you before they know the real you, pile number 3. People might also think that they might assume that if people are not like you, like if people are not exactly like you, for example, if they don't dress like you, or if they don't share the same beliefs as you, that you're gonna say no. That you'll be like, no, like I'm not sure about you. That you're gonna have a harder time to let people in that do not look like you or don't share the same beliefs as you. That you are someone that, again, very nice, very sweet, very happy, but they will assume you will not entertain like a normal Joe that has a 9 to 5 and is wearing a suit and tie and works in finances. Like, they assume that you will not, spend a lot of time or be that interested in people that are just like the status quo, the normal. I think people assume that you will easier let in people that are unconventional as you, or that look and share the same beliefs as you, and you will not just, I think it will be a harder time for you to let in people that are just like the status quo and the normal of that environment. What people think of you before they know the real you. Pile number 3. Yeah, people might assume, like, I think the people that are perceiving this way are very the status quo, are very like the normal of your environment, and they look at you and they see someone very different from what they ever seen before and very unique, and they think like they have nothing to offer you. I think some people want to get to know you because, again, you are super happy, super positive vibes. You are a joy to be around. And I think a lot of people are attracted to you and want to talk with you and be your friends, right? But they almost reject themselves because they feel like, no, a person like you will never want like a normal Joe like me. Like a person like you that is super like unique for thinking like super EP vibe. connect with nature, like super spiritual. Someone like you wouldn't care to like speak with me. There is a freedom about you that I think that I'm tapping into the people that perceive you this way. Like people that are like perceiving you this way are people that again are living the status quo. They have a 9 to 5, probably in finance or technology. They'll have an apartment that is gray, computer technology, like they have a partner, they have a wife, or they have kids, or they have a husband, they live a very normal life, very status quo life. But I think there is a part of them that wants to be free, that seeks freedom, but is scared to tap into it. And they look at you and they see someone that is more free than them. And they're like, oh my God, I want to get to know this person. Like, I want to ask you questions. I want to get to know you. I just want to get your perspective, because they are inspired not only by your freedom, but also because you look very happy in it. You are someone that in their mind that is free and that is happy in that freedom, like you're not scared by that freedom, because freedom can be scary a lot of times, right? To live unconventionally and live according to your standards can be a very scary situation. So people like almost reject themselves because they're like, I want this, because I think they're rejecting the wild part of themselves. You feel me? I think people reject themselves from talking to you because they assume that you're going to reject them, right? Because I think they're rejecting their own freedom and that wild side of them that maybe wants to live a more conventional life and maybe don't wants to follow like the status quo. So people feel like they have nothing to offer you. Yeah, like especially those people that are very status quo and living a very conventional, normal life. They're like, this person is not interested in me. I'm not interesting for this person. Let people think of you before they know the real you. Element free. Of course, the fool. Very free, very adventurous. Yeah, they assume that you're super free, super adventurous, that you're always like in adventure, like that you live a freedom lifestyle. They might even assume that what you do for a job is very freeing. It might be something that you do your own art, or you sell your own little like art in Etsy or something, that you don't go to like a 9 to 5, or you're not tied to a 9 to 5. They feel like you can go anywhere. Your home is movable, or like you can just like get up and leave, super freeing, super adventurous. They also think that you probably spend a lot of time camping or in nature, like in the mountains or something. They also assume that you are super giving, super generous. It's not about having a lot, it's about like giving a lot to people. I think people really assume that you created this self-sustaining community around you of people that plant their own food and they give to other people the food that they planted. This is like having a community of people, like everyone is gardening a different thing and everyone like gives each other food so they can make a full meal, and maybe living off the grid, and living this very free, connecting with nature lifestyle where you don't have like a physical home or a 9 to 5, but you are just like living this sustainable off-grid lifestyle. This is what people assume about you. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this message, if you like this reading, give it a like, and if you like this content, subscribe. I do have personal readings, they are super affordable, and they're my first link in the description. Bye bye, free.